Welcome to the second The Ain't No Bream film, The Matchlake Diaries. It follows on from my last film, Stalking Shoulders, and it covers the summer, autumn of 2023 and the spring, summer, autumn of 2024. It's mostly short session fishing, sort of 3 hours, mornings, evenings, the odd whole day, and it's really all edge fishing. Anyway, I really hope you enjoy the film. I had fished a match lake before, back in the summer of 1999, just for July and August. I managed to catch 6 of the old originals. It was a great summer, met some friends for life, had some top socials. It's certainly a summer I will never forget. Right, this is the swim I've been baiting. This is a little point between the match lake and what used to be the jungle, the other side of me. So this is a little point, you can't get past that fence. You can go around and bait up just from beyond the fence, it's just one fishing, but you can't fish from beyond the fence. It's a lovely little plot. What I like about it is the fact you get no through traffic, and it doesn't get fished much. I've been watching it while I've been on the Cops Lake, and it just doesn't get fished much. Really, it's a one rod swim. You've got a lot of canopy for people that are casting overhead. It's just perfect for me. There's one swim opposite which can view it, which is a bit problematic. If someone's in there I can't really bait, they will see me, and I don't want people to see what I'm doing. I've baited it probably 6 times, and I baited it really heavily last night, 25 big handfuls. So it's had a lot of bait now. It's had probably something about 5 or 6 key of pellet in there over the last sort of week really. So let's see how it goes. It's my first session with a rod in, and I've just seen one, real good one as well. So can't believe it really. Conditions are perfect, but yeah, unreal. Got half hour left this evening. I'm going to come back at first light for a go. It's the bank holiday Monday, 29th of May. At the moment it is 4:30. I've just got the rod in, left my house at 4, just got down here, just got the rod in. While I was putting the rod in, 2 really good fish rolled dead straight out from the swim, sort of 20 yards, but 2 really good bulky fish. So yeah, very confident on with the bait I put in last night. I think, you know, they would have got on that. So let's see what the morning brings. Now about 4:50, and I've got one already, just a little one. Just a little filly. Pretty little thing. There he is. 25 big handfuls last night. 2 handfuls over the top this morning in a bag. And a 20-minute bite. Little filly. It's going to get him back and get the rod back in. Still got about 3 or 4 hours fishing. There's a swan here just sitting on its eggs. It never leaves the eggs, it's amazing. Every time I bait it up, he sits there just tenning the eggs. It'd be interesting to see them hatch. It's Sunday the 11th of June. I've got down here about 4:45 this morning. Put a lot of bait in last night, probably 20 big handfuls. Come down this morning, put the rod in, just put 3 handfuls over the top. So let's see what happens this morning. Fifth session, carp number 2. Tiny little thing. Didn't really anticipate how many small ones are in here. A lot of small ones, a lot of tiny bream as well. It's about 7:30. I was going to go at 8, so that's alright, isn't it? Little comment. Thanks, mate. Right, it's Saturday the 1st of July. Actually out night fishing. I brought my son with me. He's only 8 and it's his first night's fishing, so he's really excited. Let's hope we're going to get one. We've done loads of prep on the swim, so I'm sure we'll get some in. Anyway, we'll have a look around the swim. There's a bivvy on the end of a little point. There's Noah. Hello. You're right, Noah. We're going to catch one. Yeah, excellent. Fishing both rods really far apart because that right hand rod is fishing up to quite a tight snag, so I need some swipe of the rod if it goes. So I normally only fish 1 rod in this swim. So anyway, should work. Hey, he's coming out, the baby. Is it nearly time for KFC? I think so. Right, it's the obligatory KFC. Noah's favourite, is that right, Noah? £18 mirror. Caught fishing with Noah. His first night session. Pleased with that one? Do you want to hold it? Get in a bit. Come next to me. Excellent. Hopefully we'll get another one. What do you reckon?
Maybe.
Maybe. Just had a look on the spot. There's sort of 2 very dark shapes. It's very, very deep down there, and the clarity is still quite poor. It's better than it has been, but one fish rose up, pale, sort of quite a pale, I'd say high 20-30 pounder. Clearly feeding, chewing, rose up in the water. Yeah, it looks really promising. There's huge fizzers coming up on the edge of the bush, probably sort of 3 or 4 meters away from where I'm fishing, but they always sort of big fizzers come up there when they're excited and feeding it, you know, further up the margin. So yeah, looks really good. I think there's a take within the next hour. It's now nearly 8. I normally go at 9. But I'd say, yeah, good chance. That's better. There he is. Nice knockings. Yeah. Lovely. It's Sunday the 17th of September. I came down on Saturday evening, and I baited quite heavily. I also popped back today at lunchtime and baited again quite lightly, but so there's enough bait for this evening, and I've turned up now. It's 6:30, and I've got to put a rod in. Within 10 minutes of putting a rod in, and it was all pretty quiet getting it in, I've seen fish on the spot. I've seen 2 mirrors. They're feeding on the shelf now, so really expecting a take. The last couple of sessions have been a bit of a disaster, in the fact that I've been fishing. I've been getting here at 6 and fishing till 9. It's now getting dark at 7:30, 7:45. And so, you know, before it was early on in the summer, it wasn't getting dark until, you know, 8:30, 9 o'clock, so I could watch all the time. So now it gets dark. I've had 2 catfish bites between the hours of sort of 8:15, 8:45, and I've managed to lose them both. I'm not overly worried, but it's a real pain because you never really know. You never really know if it's a cat. I've had a carp, the last carp I had from the spot. If I'd have lost that carp, I would have said it was a cat because it fought so hard. So you never really know. But the last one actually cut my hook link right at the end of the fight, and I'm sure that was it was all in the open water by that point. So the only thing that would have cut the hook link was its abrasive mouth. So anyway, bit of a nightmare. So you've got that risk now. The longer the dark hours, catfish feed in the dark, the more chance of getting a cat, which obviously we don't really want. We don't want at all. Anyway, the rod's in. Let's see what happens. Right, nice 21-pound mirror. Caught about 8:45. Lovely. Oh, crack. Here he is. 21-pound mirror, last knockings. We're happy with that. That's made my evening. Sunday 24th of September. Good time of year for me. I caught basil stalking on the 28th of September, so very good time for stalking, the time I know really well and confident in. I baited last night, Saturday evening, about 6 o'clock, and I baited really heavily, 25 large handfuls, just to really stimulate the spot. I knew I wouldn't be back till 12 o'clock today, so it gave it a good time for the bait to work. Got down today, 12 o'clock, spent 10 minutes looking at the spot, straight away seen one feeding, good fish. Managed to get the rod in sort of 10 minutes later, and since then I've put 4 handfuls over the top of the rod. Since then I've been back on the spot watching and gave it sort of half hour before I looked. I've seen 2 fish feeding there really heavily, really heavily. Definitely going to get a take. In fact, I've just had a liner on a locked up rod. So yeah, very confident. Let's see what happens. 29-pound mirror carp. Yeah, an hour of putting the rod in. What a fish, what a unit. There he is. It's so good. Lovely fish, really pleased with that. Nice Sunday afternoon bite. Yeah. it's Sunday the 1st of October. I've come down to bait up. It's 11 o'clock. There's been someone in the swim all weekend. I came down to bait up Friday and he was here. Come down to bait up Saturday and he was here. So haven't managed to bait since Wednesday. I know he's not fishing the spot I fish in the margin, so I'm not overly worried, but it's a shame not to have a continuation of bait. Anyway, I plan to come back this evening, but I had the kit in the car today, so I thought I'm going to just put a few handfuls in, fish for a couple of hours. I've got stuff to do this afternoon, so I'm going to go home, load it before I go, and I'll come back this evening. Right, I've been here now about half an hour. I put the rod in, put 6 handfuls over it, just because I've only got an hour and a half, something like that. I've got to go out this afternoon. As I say, it was really a baiting trip. I've just been viewing for half an hour, and 2 fish have come in. I can't really believe it. You know, there's been no bait since Wednesday. 2 fish have come straight in and they're feeding. So it's unbelievable. But anyway, it's obviously they're really trained to the spot. They're checking it regularly. They like this area anyway. Wow. Anyway, we're going to give it another hour, see what happens. £18 mirror, caught within an hour, not even baited since Wednesday. Yeah, only popped down to bait up. There he is, giant slug this morning. Could have done without that this morning really. Never mind. The 2023 season had been excellent, catching shoulders from the Copse Lake and producing my first film, Stalking Shoulders. From the Copse, I went straight on the Match Lake and was fortunate to start catching from the off, as you've seen on the first part of this film. What became obvious was I was not really seeing any of the bigger match lake fish, and certainly hadn't caught any of them. So come the winter, I walked the lake as much as possible, and the following spring I started baiting heavily quite early on, and really watching and trying to find those bigger fish. I got to view quite a few of them, the big red mire, big ghosty, and I was seeing decent fish quite regularly. So I knew that I had a real good chance this coming season. I'd also realised that a lot of the night anglers were really frightened of putting in big quantities of bait because of the catfish. The catfish feed in the dark, so they were really worried about that. But for me, it wasn't a problem with my day fishing. I might pick up the odd one, but it wasn't going to be a real nightmare, and I could really load the areas and get the fish confident. So the plan for the coming year was to try and catch a Match Lake original. I would guess there was something like 6 originals left, and also to catch a Match Lake 40. Yet again, there's probably something like 5 or 6 40s in the Match Lake, so it was a realistic target. I also wanted to capture the whole thing on film, so I hope you enjoy the second half of the film. Right, it's March the 6th, it's bank holiday Monday. Had a bit of luck. I came down yesterday. It was a really sunny day yesterday, really nice weather. It must be 18 degrees, and had a good look round, looked at my usual spot, which I've been baiting for a couple of months, and it's just too deep, I think. Just haven't seen fish using it. I've seen the odd fish there, but they're just not using it. So I went really hunting yesterday, and I've located them on several spots. One is in a bay, which I'll show you in a minute, the Point Bay. The other is the entrance to the old jungle, which is quite near my other spot. Anyway, I baited them all yesterday, and then I came down at lunchtime today on the Monday, and baited them all, and stayed for about an hour watching each one, and I had fish feeding in the bay, on a real sort of shallow ledge right near the bank. It's perfectly stalkable, but you're not allowed to stalk. The rule on the lake is you have to fish from a swim. So the nearest swim is the point, which I'll show you in a minute, which you can fish it quite easily. So yeah, I've come back this evening to put the rod in. Gone round there first, there's a fish on the spot. Semi-spooked him with a couple of pellets. I've only got 3 hours, so you know I have to move it off. I put the rod in, 3 handfuls over the top. So yeah, let's see what happens. Right, this is the Point Bay. My actual hook bait is right over there on that sort of barren bit of bank. Basically, it's a very shallow gravel ledge. When I baited it yesterday, it was actually sort of real muddy, and I put in sort of 5 or 6 handfuls. Came back, there was fish feeding, and all very quickly it had cleaned off. In fact, today it's like a large gravel area, size of like an unhooking mat. Yeah, it looks perfect. So the rod's on the spot, just waiting for them to return. The main thing is I've got to keep the birds off. I've got a laser pen, and I've also got to keep people off from walking in the back. You can walk in the back and view the area, and people don't really have the courtesy to check the point, to check there's no one here. So if I see anyone going in there, I can whistle to them to get out. You've really got to be on it here. So yeah, let's see what happens. Literally 15 minutes of putting the rig in. It's gone on a spectacular fight. I don't know, it's the 20th something. So we're still got time for the move. So I've got another swim bait, so I'm hopefully going to photograph this, wrap up all the kit, move about 50, 100 yards down the lake to spot 2. So yeah, let's get on with it. He's £24 exactly. Fantastic fish. Happy with that. First one of the spring. Caught him in 15 minutes. Couldn't be better. Saw him feeding. Got a rocket rig in position, and went straight on. Brilliant. The 22nd of May. I've got the whole day off today. So I came down yesterday evening. I put 10 handfuls in the shallow bay where I caught the fish the other day. Also baited the deep margin spot, which I always bait, with about 15 handfuls, and I put some bait also in a nursery lake and a little spot I'm watching up there as well. So I've got options today. My plan is to do the morning in the shallow bay, but go looking today really once the morning sort of kicked in. But yeah, I'm really confident. Within 10 minutes of putting the rod in, I've seen huge eruptions of bubbles, not on the spot but back off the spot towards me, but they're in the bay. There's fish here, and with that bait going in last night, they'll know where it is. So yeah, really confident it's going to be a great day. The weather is warm, overcast. It's due to stay like that all day, chance of a bit of shower, but pretty much muggy and overcast, so yeah, it looks good for it. Right, at 7 AM I had this weird take. It was like a massive drop back. As soon as I picked up the rod, because you've got to be quick in here because of the snags, as soon as I picked up the rod there was just nothing there. Very weird, don't know what it was, but it was pouring with rain at this point. So I shot up the shops, got a coffee, got a bacon roll, come back and waited for the rain to stop. It only took like 20 minutes, because I really need to be able to see where I'm dropping the rig from the tree. And in a pouring rain you just can't see the glow of the sandy sort of gravelly spot. So anyway, the rain stopped, run the rod back in, got it in position. And since it's been out there, there has been 2 massive boshes in the snags further down into the bay. Real big ones, like just since the rain stopped. Rod's in. I'm anticipating another take. There was no real disturbance because it just comes straight off, whatever it was. Weird. Anyway, it's back in. £24 match lake common. Nice one, a real good scrap from the shallow bay spot. That's the second one from there. Had 3 bream before this, so 3 bream dropbacks and then this. Story of perseverance. Really pleased with that on my day off. £24 common. The swans marked the spot perfectly. They came in just after I caught the fish, and interestingly there's still bait there because they've been feeding for about 5 minutes. I'm going to let them finish up the bait and go, and then I'll get the rod back in and get another 5 or 6 handfuls over the top. While we wait for the swans to clear the bay, I want to show you the spot. Spot is just here. You can see better from here. Hopefully you can see the hue of the bottom there, sandy, gravelly area. It's actually got quite big. It was really small. I can actually easily get a rig on it. In fact, I think there's a fish there now. There is, just there. Wow. Time to get a rod in. The day I've had, you just wouldn't believe it. It's rained all day. I've had 3 bream, 3 new hook links, then the £24 common, then the swans just got on me and annihilated me, and ducks, to the point it was just a frenzy of birds. So I reeled in, couldn't risk hooking one, put everything on the barra, went round to the deep margin, spent half an hour there, saw nothing. Thought I'd have one more look because I've got like an hour left. Just had one more look in the bay, and they're back, 2 fish. One was really big on the spot, really looking for food as well, working the spot. So quickly run a bag back in, it's on the spot, and I've managed to feed the swans and the ducks here. On the end of the point, just keep throwing ham from the paddock there to keep them at bay, and hopefully we'll get a bite. £26 mirror, second fish of the day. Really pleased with that one. It was worth feeding the ducks off and coming back. Second fish of the day from the match lake. It's hard to get 2 in a day. I only get 1 day a month fishing. 1 whole day a month, I should say. So I do a lot of prep, a lot of baiting beforehand for the whole week beforehand. And it's really paid off today, 2 in a day. It's Bank Holiday Monday, 27th of May. Just come out for an afternoon session, hadn't pre-baited beforehand, but just fished over 6 handfuls of paddock. Really confident of getting one. There's fish boshing in the bay, it looks really good. Nice little fillet. An evening session. It's Thursday the 30th of May. I caught the last fish on Monday, the little fully scale. That was from the shallow bay. I came down at lunchtime today and I baited the shallow bay and I baited the deep margin for this evening. Come down this evening, pouring rain, barrowed round to the shallow bay, someone's in there. And in fairness, that's good, because I really was thinking all the way down here, fish the deep margin. The weather conditions are perfect. It's cooler today, it's rainy, it's dull. I really think this is the spot. I haven't done one, I haven't actually caught fish from the deep margin this year, and I know it's such a powerful spot. I've been baiting it and baiting it. I know it's going to do one. Anyway, I got the rod in, the pouring rain, and I've been watching ever since. And I've seen the big ghostie on the spot feeding. Now that come out a week ago at the very top of the lake, sort of the furthest from here you could get, 38 pounds after spawning. It's normally like 42, something like that. So yeah, it's probably quite hungry, it's spawned out, it probably wants to regain its weight. Seen that feeding, seen a couple of possible others. The water quality is very, very poor. It's very, very hard to see. It's just deep, well, it's called deep margin, that's why, you know. It's very hard to see the spot. You can just see the glow of gravel, and you can see shapes. I've seen a couple of other shapes. Obviously the ghostie stands out, big whitefish. Since then I've seen a big rock in the bush and a bow wave out of the bush. So they're in there. Yeah, and I've only got about an hour and a half left, because didn't have a long session this evening, probably 2.5 hours. So that's all you can do. Let's see what happens. It's a slug. There it is. Really disappointed. It was a catfish, especially after seeing the big ghostie feeding. But I guess that's the match lake. You know, you've got to put up with these catfish. But that's the way it is. I've got the rod back in. I've got half hour left. Interestingly though, just before the catfish, probably 10 minutes before the cat, I saw a carp bow wave out of the area. Whether that was spooked by the catfish, I don't know, but it was. I've not seen that before. A carp just bow wave away from the bush. There was no disturbance, you know. I was sat back down in my chair here. So yeah, well, I don't know, but strange. Indeed, the 30th of June. I came down yesterday evening to bait the deep margin, just assumed that the shallow bay would be taken, because people saw me catch the other day. I thought I won't get in there. Anyway, came down to bait yesterday and both swims were free. I baited the deep margin, came and viewed the shallow bay, and there was fish all over it. In fact, I was watching for about half an hour, and I'll see 3 different fish cruise through right in the shallows, feed on the shelf, and a little bit of bait I put there. So before I left, I didn't go mad, because it's very shallow. We're talking sort of 2.5 foot of water. So I put 6 handfuls sort of spread across the shallows. Yeah, I mean, they were having it here, big style yesterday, big style. So anyway, I've got it this morning. It's 4 in the morning. I put a rod straight in, PVA bag on the shallow, and we'll see what happens. But really, really confident of a bite, really confident. So yeah, looking forward to it. Nice little one. Bite came about midday. It's Sunday, July the 21st. I didn't fish last weekend because we had a memorial for Steve Pagg, sort of a social of all the car park boys on a lake in the Cotswolds. We raised about £500 for Steve's charities and a really good weekend. So I did fish midweek last week. Came down here, fished a deep margin. There was fish present, big style. Saw a big common, nearly £40 I'd guess at. See a real pale mirror, sort of mid 30s. Yeah, really good. They were feeding on and off, and about 8 o'clock had a take. Got it away from the snag, got it in the open water, thought it was sort of clear, you know, was going to be good, and then the hook link got cut. I'm convinced now it was a catfish. When I got the hook link back, it looked like its abrasive pads had just worn down the hook link. I'm convinced it was a cat, but you just never know really. Anyway, I came back today lunchtime, and I put in 8 handfuls on the area. There was actually a guy in here last night, Saturday night, so I couldn't bait it Saturday, which was a shame. But anyway, I baited at lunchtime, come back down this evening, about 6 o'clock, got the rod in, sort of half-hour viewing. I've seen one fish on the spot, sort of a mirror, maybe mid-20s, and I've also seen the big ghosty, which I've seen here before. I saw it here last year. It likes the area. That's sort of between 38 and 40 pounds. So yeah, I mean, they have spawned now, so they could all be down, but yeah, big fish, and that's been used in the area today. So I'm really confident the rod's in. Let's see if we can get a bite this evening. chunk. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yes. Oh yes. Finally. Absolute chunk. £36 of Match Lake mirror. Stunning fish. Absolute beast. Right, that was excellent. Got here at 6. Had the bite about 20 past 8. Yeah, actually weird little bite. You probably saw it on the film. Just dropped back and then charged. Pretty easy fight really. Just all round the tip. Just I knew it was a big fish quite early on. I could see its back come out, its sort of crusty back. But yeah, one of the easier fights from this swim, which is what you need. And the biggest one from this swim so far. The bigger fish have definitely entered this area now. I've seen a big ghostie. There was a real big pale mirror today. There was another pale mirror that I saw earlier. I've seen a bigger one since, and then that one which I hadn't seen. So yeah, the bigger fish are definitely in this area. I need to do a bit this week and see if I can get another one. I've got the rod back in for the last sort of 20 minutes, and I have seen shapes. I'm losing the light now. It looks light on the video, but it's actually quite dusky. But yeah, try and come back, load it up tonight, hopefully come back Wednesday, fingers crossed. The fish turned out to be Cops Lake Scaly, certainly the oldest fish in Yateley, and a fish that I'd actually lost from the Cops Lake 25 years ago, almost to the day from this capture. Truly incredible. It's Wednesday 14th of August. I've been on holiday for a week, so didn't bait for a whole week. Came back down on, well, as soon as I landed on a Saturday, I was like ready to get going again. So baited Sunday evening. There was no real signs of the swim being fished. Baited heavy Sunday evening, and then I baited again on Monday. And then I baited again last night, Tuesday evening, but I baited really heavy Tuesday evening, probably about 30 handfuls, and I've come down this evening about 6 o'clock. There's fish in the snag, there's fish on the spot, so I've just lowered a bag in. I've put about 4 handfuls on the over top and a bit of crumble boilie. I'm leaving it at that because there's fish already there, there's still bait there, but I just wanted a little bit of fresh. I've already had 2 liners, just single beeps on a locked up line. Yeah, it's definitely going to happen. So yeah, let's see what happens. It might play up, don't worry, this is recorded.
Bit of a split packy there, really, on the front.
I fished yesterday evening between 6 and 9. I caught that £29 mirror, probably about 20 to 9. It really fought. I mean, it was a hard fight. In fact, my friend opposite thought I had a catfish on it, fought so hard. Luckily, a friend was close by and did some good steals for me. The reason I'm fishing with the tip as deep as possible is because when I first started fishing this swim, I'd fish it with the tip just on the water line, and after a couple of fish I had a bite that I actually lost. Generally when you hook a fish in this swim, they come out from the margin and try and hit the very tip of that bush there. It's very deep under there, you've got loads of clearance, but you need to keep the tip really deep. So what I was doing before was, as soon as I got a take, I was putting a rod right down onto the bottom and playing them with the tip down. But one of them, the take was so violent that the fish come out of here and managed to just get me on that last few branches before I managed to get the tip down. So what I've been doing since is fishing the rod on a real aggressive angle, so that the actual tip's just off the bottom, like a centimetre from the bottom. And since then I've eliminated losing fish. Generally they come out of the very tight into the margin here, and they bolt out and they try and get to the end, but the tip's down. There's probably 6 foot of clearance underneath that, maybe even 8 foot. And so far it's been working perfectly. You try and eliminate all losses, because you never know, you know, if that's the big one, you know, we're trying to land everything. It's Wednesday, August the 28th. Came down last night, Tuesday evening, put in 15 handfuls. Baited quite light because I'm a bit worried that a few of the last sessions I've been fishing over too much bait. In fact, the last 3 sessions have been a bit of a disaster. I lost a catfish on the first of the 3. Absolute animal of a catfish, probably 60-70 pounder. The next session had loads of bream feeding, like balls of them. They sort of disappeared around about bite time, about 8 o'clock. There was carp on the spot, and I couldn't work out why I didn't get a bite. I'm pretty sure the baiting levels were good, couldn't work it out. And I wound in at 9 to a hook link that was like tangled. I'm pretty sure done by the bream earlier on. Really annoying. And the last session, I overbaited the night before. I put in something like 30 handfuls to really get the spot stimulated. It came down to feeding fish straight away. Put the rod in with just a couple handfuls over top because I can't see the bait, so I want to know there's something there. But they fed and fed, and I'm pretty sure just had too much bait. So been a bit more careful tonight. 15 handfuls last night, just 4 small handfuls over the area tonight, a few crumble boilie, and straight away within half hour of being here there's fish on the bait. So really confident. I've already had a little 1 bleep liner, and I've been watching the shapes on the spot. The viewing is terrible, the clarity is terrible, but I can see shapes. I can see, you know, it's a carp. I've seen 2 this evening together, decent ones as well. Yeah, really exciting. £28 match lake mirror, caught on last knockings. Very lively this one. £28, right at last knockings. Really pleased with this one. Brilliant. It's September the 11th, Wednesday. Come down for a quick evening as usual, 6 o'clock. It gets dark now, 7:30, so you know you've got limited viewing before it gets dark. I've blanked the last 3 evenings. There has been signs of fish. I've not been seeing them like in the hours of light, but about 8:30 on the last 3 trips, I've heard them to my right. There's like in the no man's land, in the safety area in the snags, there's like a branch they flank over, and when they do that there's water disturbance, and you can see it from here looking down there, and you can also hear it. And yeah, there's been disturbance every evening. They're definitely here, but I've just got the baiting levels wrong, I'm sure of that. I've either baited too much the night before, or I've baited too much on the session. So yeah, tonight total change. You know, 8 handfuls last night, just 3 handfuls over the rig tonight, this evening. Few crumble boilies. Been viewing, not seen anything yet. Seen a few bream, but yeah, I'm confident. Let's see what happens this evening. Right, been viewing for about an hour. I've seen one, decent carp. It's feeding on the spot. In fact, I've actually seen it boil up, the water boiling up where it's feeding so heavily to the right, a bit more to the right than the rig. Yeah, it's looking really good. I've fished the rig tonight a little bit deeper than I have been fishing. Last season I fished it deep because I thought it would give me a better chance of landing them. It turns out that wasn't actually right. I've been landing just as many from fishing it right near the roots, slightly shallower. Still the same distance away from the snag, but I was convinced that fishing it deeper it would give me a better angle when they come, when they charge right. But it's had no effect really. I've been landing them. But yeah, it's getting cooler now. I've had 3 blanks, they've been feeding there, so I've just adjusted it and I'm fishing it 1.5 foot away from the roots rather than right tight to them. It's probably another foot deeper, it's probably 6 foot rather than 5. But I've always been baiting there further down the shelf when I leave anyway, baiting from the roots right down the shelf. So yeah, trying that tonight. So yeah, let's hopefully get a bite. Nice grey one. Happy with that. It's Thursday 19th of September. I've got the day off work, so I've got a whole day in the deep margin. I came down yesterday evening and fished, baited before I left, and I've had a real good run of baiting all through the week leading up to this day off. So I really had a lot of bait this week. The spot's looking really good, it's been hammered, it's looking the part. Today I was hoping to be a bit more mobile and have a look at some of the other areas, but unfortunately the lake opposite, which is like the South Lake, which is just across the road, which is on the same ticket, has been shut because of a KHV outbreak, which meant all the anglers that fish there are now on the Match Lake. So when I came down yesterday I had a good look round, and a lot of the swims that I was intending to bait last night and then roam around today are taken. So the bay's taken, the bay up the top end is taken as well, and there's another margin spot I've got up near the Cops Lake, and that's taken. So really it's looking like a static day in the deep margin. The good news is it's going to be like really grey and murky all morning, but then really sunny and warm in the afternoon, up to 24 degrees. You wouldn't think it now, it's sort of 16 degrees, very overcast. but I quite like that because it's like a day of two halves. You've got the morning of this sort of overcast weather, and then you've got the fishing conditions in the bright sun of the afternoon. And this spot, strangely enough, is quite good in warm sunny weather. They're willing to sunbathe further down the margin in the snag and use this margin, so I think it's good conditions, two types of good conditions. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the day. I'm just gonna have a static day as it happens, but yeah, I'm excited. I've been viewing this morning, a few bream, caught a bream yesterday evening, but I think the carp will turn up. The baits keeps been going. I mean, there's bream taking it, there's cats, you know, I know the carp are on it. I think the carp are feeding in the night at the moment. It's that September time of year where you get that night action. Not doing nights, this swim particularly would be very, very difficult to night fish. You've got to be on the rod instantly. The fight's really done in the first 30 seconds, make or break in that first 30 seconds. So it's not a swim to night fish really, you need to be right on the rod. So yeah, let's see what happens. Check out these conditions today. Breeze blowing in, overcast. It's all set to change in the next couple of hours with the sun going to burn through, and it's going to be a very hot afternoon. Nice September weather. Just had a slug. Problems of fishing this lake. These bloody slugs. There he is. Dirty great slugs. Very sad. Never mind. I'm always nervous when I turn this corner whether someone's going to be in the swim. It's free. The end of my little point is Sunday the 22nd of September. I did a day session Thursday where I fished from 9 to sort of 3:30, really just to spend the day watching the spot and seeing when the fish were on there, whether they were coming in at different times. The evenings have slowed up a little bit, so I really wanted just to spend the day watching. Unfortunately, I had a catfish about 10 o'clock in the morning. It gave me a mental scrap, which sort of disturbed the swim, which was a bit unfortunate. I had to look round for a move, but the lake was really busy. All the other edge spots were taken, so it was a bit of a static day, and I stayed in the deep margin just watching. I had to leave at 3:30 to pick up my son, and I did see a carp on the area at 3 o'clock. So I had like half hour where the fish was feeding on and off, and really, it was awful. You know you've got to go, I've got to pick him up. Anyway, at least I knew that they were here late afternoon. So it's Sunday today, and instead of doing my normal 6 till 9 o'clock evening session, I've come down at 2:30. I'm going to do till 6. So the rod's in now, it's now 3 o'clock now. I've already seen shapes on the area. I baited last night with 20 handfuls, and yeah, there's already shapes on the area. I mean, once I got the rod in, I just put in a few chops, 2 or 3 handfuls of fresh bait. But yeah, I think there's a take in this afternoon. There's potentially 2 fish. Definitely seen one. I think there's 2 shapes. It's really murky still, really hard viewing, but it's warm. It's grey, it's overcast, conditions are good. Fish have been coming out as well. A friend of mine at the top end, he had 2 or 3 fish last night, and I know a 30 got caught from the point today. So they're obviously on the feed as well. The conditions are right. My spot has been baited and primed. I think I've got the timing right of when they're feeding. So yeah, we'll see what happens this afternoon. The wind is banging in now. Been viewing the spot, very difficult with the wind, ripple on the water, but I've seen the big ghosty, that's near £40, and I've seen another mirror. Looks like a good fish, to be honest with you, high 30 if not £40. So yeah, really exciting. Still got a couple hours left. We're really having to wade through them here. Tiny little thing, reeled it in as if it was a tench. But yeah, there's a lot of fish in this lake. You've really got to wade through them to get to the bigger ones. But anyway, carp's a carp. One of the new stockies for the future. It's Wednesday 25th of September. I caught that fish on Sunday afternoon, baited heavily when I left, came back down last night, Tuesday evening, put in another 15 handfuls. Didn't go mad because I want it to be no bait on the spot today, or minimal bait, so that I've got a chance for a pickup. Put the rig in, put 3 handfuls over it and a little bit of crumble. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Wow, chuffed with a big ghosty. It's been a tricky one. There he is. What fish, what fight. This 45-inch little brolly's been brilliant for the 3-hour sessions. Just perfect sort of size, very lightweight. I just cut the centre pole off with a hacksaw and put 2 storm rods in. It's been really good for videoing as well, putting the tripod on the video camera underneath when it's raining, so that rain doesn't get on the lens, and just using it as a camera shelter. I did that when I had the ghosty. Fantastic. Yeah, really good bit of kit for these short sessions. There we go, low pressure, really overcast, mega windy, rain coming, really looks the part. I've got 3 hours ahead of me, so yeah, really exciting. Shame most of it's going to be here sitting in the dark, but that's the way it is. And caught the big ghosty in the dark, so yeah, that was about 8:30 I had that. I was due to leave at 9, so yeah, we're going to stay till 9 this evening. They've been lumping out just about, I don't know, 20 yards out there. There's been 3 now just lumping out in the waves. 2 of them look like good fish. Yeah, really good. It's Wednesday the 16th of October. The evenings are drawing in now. I get here at 6. Time I get the rod in, you know, it's nearly dark. I've had 1 session since I caught the ghosty, and unfortunately I lost a big fish. Haven't had many losses, so it really hurts, especially as I know it was a big fish. I'm just praying it isn't the big red mire that I'm after. I have seen a big common on the area just before I caught the ghosty, so I knew the red mire, or at least a big common, was visiting. So I'm just really hoping it wasn't that. But anyway, we've got the rod in, the conditions are perfect. It's going to rain later on, it's really warm. It's like 16 degrees in October, it's amazing. So yeah, just hoping that this evening we get another big one. When you're riding a sort of a roll, you just got to keep going, you know, having the ghosty, losing a big one, you know, that's a real kick. But obviously the big fish are here, so we just got to keep going. I hope you stumble into another one. hope you've enjoyed the film. The plan from the off was to do short sessions, mornings, evenings, the odd day, and see if we can get a £40 carp from the match lake. Also to try and bump into an original if possible. I think I've definitely achieved that, catching scaly at £36, an old original, probably the oldest fish in Yateley. Catching a big ghosty at £42, and the icing on the cake, the big red mire at £41. Anyway, I really hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please like and subscribe to the Ain't No Bream channel. I'm looking forward to new adventures and hopefully filming them.